Welcome back, welcome back.
About quote-unquote aliens. I knew this was going to happen if you see my last video on Hours of Horror. There were a group of pastors that came out and said that they were told by the government to meet in a certain location in one of the states. This information came out by this pastor right here, Pastor Perry Stone. But other pastors came out and defended Perry Stone, saying, yeah, that's exactly what we were told. We were told to go to a certain location. The government met with us and told us to prepare our congregation for the revelation of aliens because this is going to shake their faith. A lot of people are going to question their faith or even leave their faith altogether. And I said,
If you're still watching, Danny, remember? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Why is most of the world not going to get to go with the Most High? Because they're going to lie to them? No. Because they're going to tell them the truth.
in that video that these pastors are being deceived by the government to spread this information among the public that we were created by aliens. And in the words of Pastor Perry Stone, reptile-looking aliens. I wasn't too far off because just take a look at this article from Newsweek. Eric Burleson accepts apologies over pastor's aliens invented Jesus comments.
You see, if you don't pay attention to the story, when someone tells you the truth, it's a lie. I'm gonna continue and let this man speak like he understands the truth, but he doesn't, even though he's on the good side. Well, I don't really know him, but he speaks, but he obviously doesn't understand the book.
Continue to read the article. It says, pastor and YouTuber Larry Ragland has apologized after suggesting that he was told in a secret meeting with United States officials that aliens had invented Christianity. If you had seen Larry Ragland's video,
why would the Most High name his thing after his son? Why would something be named after someone that didn't make the rules up or has no power in it? Why would it be named after him?
when he was first talking about this, he clearly said that a very well-known congressman from Missouri had called into the private meeting for pastors, adding on speakerphone, this sitting powerful member of Congress said, they are preparing to tell us that they are from another dimension, that they are our creator, and that these beings, these aliens, whatever you call them, they were the ones that seated us here. There is no such thing as God.
Well, if you read the book, God made people, and then angels made people. And then some people believe that he was talking to himself, and he made the other nations, and then he made Adam. Either way it goes, right? And then everybody forgets about Adam and Eve, and the Lord specifically saying it's going to be his seed versus his seed. So, everybody likes to forget that part.
Jesus was invented by them. The Bible was invented by them.
The Old Testament says the Most High is the Most High and Jesus is a little nigga. The New Testament and his Christianites say that he's God and he runs the show.
This is what he clearly says in that video, that information came from that congressman in Missouri. A couple days later, since that spread like wildfire, he made another video walking that back.
What did Jesus say though in the book? He said, I got a daddy and my daddy got laws and I'm gonna show you how to do it.
That a congressman from Missouri had called in to speak to the pastors. And of course it's being revealed now that that is Congressman Eric Burleson. And he did call in, but he called in to encourage us and to thank us pastors for the work that we're doing and that we are speaking the truth to our people and pointing them to Jesus and not get distracted of things in the world. in that moment,
Okay, if you're pointed to him and you're only focused on him and not being distracted by the world, how would you know what's going on in the world? Because he told you, pay attention for the signs and the times. But if you're distracted by Jesus and not paying attention what's going on, how the fuck do you know it's a contradiction, isn't it?
again, to state things that I have always said. That is my opinion, and my opinion is, and that's exactly all it is, it's my opinion, that when this disclosure comes out, that it will be spun, that it is, that the aliens have always been here, that they seeded us, that they created the first religion, and all of that.
The Old Testament says the Lord of the Bible doesn't make religions and that they're all fake and that this is not a religion, it's a way of life. It's a yes or no. So what faith are you following again? Because the faith of the Lord is it's not a religion. So,
I should have stopped and paused and said, and this part is my opinion. In the heat of that, I didn't. I led with saying that he had called the pastors, and I went straight into my opinion. So I want to make.
I wish I was like all the other guys that can say Leviticus this, 19 and da da da. Everything I say is because I went and read. And when I seen it say it, I said, wait up, I thought I was in a religion. And then the book says this is not a religion. But everyone religious keeps calling me a fucking idiot. And a liar. And a charlatan.
Make it very clear that Eric Burleson did not say those words. Those were my words. And I want to own it, and I want to apologize directly to Congressman Eric Burleson for any problems that this has caused you, any confusion, and to any of the viewers that have seen this video clip. So I wanted to state the facts and make it very, very clear what actually happened. That was my opinion and not the congressman. So thank you so much. And the bottom line is this. I just want you to focus on the Lord. And that was the purpose of that meeting, is to just focus on Jesus. And as Jesus said, be not deceived. So thank you for your time, and God bless.
More than likely, he spoke when he was not supposed to, and now he has to walk it back. Or this could be all part of something much bigger, a bigger agenda. Nobody really knows. But no matter what this happens to be, if you study the book, you'll know. That's the point of it. Now, what time everything happens, no man knows, The book says that. Except the Lord. Only the Lord knows everything. That's why he doesn't get sent on fucking dummy missions. What did I tell you, Danny? What did I tell you the greatest thing that he's gonna do when he finally reveals himself? He's gonna tell everybody, you've been following me this whole time, you fucking moron ass niggas, you're already done. You idiots. Your parents, you all been, you get it? I don't need to convert you. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And then everybody gets real scared and shit. Because then everybody will look at the people that are on the bottom and say, oh yeah, the book makes sense, it's them now. I do not trust any alien information coming from the Gov, especially when it has to do with creation. We do know we're getting closer and closer to that 2030 agenda. The 2030 agenda is all about a one world, and what's going to be included in that is a one world government, a one world religion. This is something that was heavily explored when it came to Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam was all about introducing these aliens, but they also played a role in religion to create this one world religion. People have been warning about this final deception using aliens for years upon years, for decades, and now it looks like we are finally here. But talking about religion, take a look at this. This is getting crazier and crazier, and now we have robotic Buddhist monks.
I would continue in that little shadow room of his, but as I was watching that, I was noticing the what I taught my pupil all those years ago. If you're still watching, Danny, I doubt you are, but I like to bring you up because you were a pivotal moment in my life. Our studies helped me to understand you being a white man and me showing you and you having that look on your face like of denial and then me making you read and see and then say, now how the fuck does everybody treat us? Remember when it made you break down and cry and you could see the fucking trick? Remember when you admitted that you were racist but you're a Gentile? You know, you're not looking to hurt nobody, but you have that harbor of hate. Remember how I broke that out of you with love? Teaching you how to raise yourself up like a man. The scriptures, remember? And then what was the greatest lesson that we discovered? Well, I discovered and told you. I only learned it because I trained you. When I trained you and seen that it was really possible for one of you to change. If you see the truth. You know? And then, what did I tell you? I should. Now think about everybody else that doesn't know the truth. All your little peoples, all the nations of the world. I said, I forgot exactly how I said it, but I said, do they need to really deceive anyone? You know? The book says the Lord's people will be hated. Every nation in the world's gonna hate your guts and treat you like shit. Because the Lord, said, you're gonna be the jewel of the earth. You're gonna represent my power no matter what situation you're in. Remember how I taught you that, Danny? How even though we're the bottom, we're still the representation of the Lord's power? It's just the opposite side nobody wants. Everybody wants to be on the head, the good side of the Lord, and get the blessing. And what did I teach you, Danny? When we fall, it's everyone else's turn. But if you don't do the right thing, you're going to get what we got. And we're the example for everybody. Why not to do it? Because then, everybody can't be on the bottom and everybody can't be on the top. So that would mean the last shall be first and the first shall be last. Since we're last now, remember? What did I tell you? Where did I show you? You couldn't even not believe. Jesus is right. And then I showed you the book. And then I showed you science. And then I showed you the fucking bronze burned in the furnace. Then I showed you what Willie like hair is. Then I showed you scientifically what Willie like hair is. Then I showed you, remember how I broke down all these terms and then showed the fucking science behind it and how it keeps pointing back to us. And not all of us. Because there's a lot of brown skinned people in the world, but my father made descriptions for a reason. Because you can look almost like me. You can even be a duplicate, but you don't got the heart. You don't got the law written in you. You get it? You don't got him. So when it comes time to prove, and he doesn't protect you, everyone will see you're not them. And at times of hocus pocus and just saying shit is almost over. People fucking just making shit up or, the Lord's getting angry. seems it's happening faster and faster. Everyone that tries to, you know, say certain things, do certain things. Anyway, didn't I tell you that was going to be the most psychological thing for most people to get over? The fact that they've already betrayed the Lord? You know, how they actually never worshiped Him ever? And then what did I show you? I showed you that even in the Bible, I keep playing it now. I'm lucky enough that the Lord, you know, delivered that verse through a video. You know, the David, when he's like talking about, I create the dark, I do this and I do that. Well, in that, he says, I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna watch over certain people even though you don't acknowledge me. You get that? I know you worship something else. You're a fucking idiot. I'm the one keeping you alive. I'll ravage that thing you look up to. It's only allowed to be because I let it. And when I tell it to shut the fuck up and stand aside, it will. You know? Remember how I told you about my father's mercy? Remember? And then you understood the level of excellence and perfection. The Lord really has. I don't know if you did, but it definitely changed your life. You're the first person I've ever really shown, and then you changed. And you literally, I watched you change. You know? Even if you fall back now, you still change. Doesn't matter. Change is hard sometimes. You know? People think being good's easy. You know, it's just like what my father said. There's going to come a time where bad will be looked at as good and good will be looked at as bad. You know? And in that time, I think people would think being a good person's like easy. It's just something that you just do. There's no consequences for it. You know, there's no. It takes long and a dedication, and you fuck up, and you have to go and start over, and you have to do it, and you have to do it. And, you know, people really believe that. People think being bad is hard. No, it's not. It's actually easier. Now, being evil, now that's hard, you know, because righteousness takes intelligence. Being good doesn't. To be bad, you don't need intelligence. To be evil, though, you need intelligence. You see the levels? A lot of people don't. And I think that's why my father forgives. I think that's why the fallen hate man so much. Like, have any of you ever actually questioned why your brothers, because like the Creator created all of us, so like angels and they're your brothers, you know, and then they fell, became something else, but it doesn't mean they're not your brothers. They're just niggas that were your brothers and they're locked up now. You get it? Your brother's still your brother even though he went to jail. Even if you disown him, he's still your brother. You get it? Those are still his sons. Why do you think he didn't destroy them? You know? And just say, I'll just get rid of you right now. It's the love. It's the mercy. Plus, what better way to teach people? You know? it's like being a man. You can teach your son anything you want when they're younger. Once they get to a certain age and they can just do things and they don't have to listen to you, they're not gonna listen to you. And then that's when you let life teach them. And then they learn why daddy has all the things. Because he worked for it. They understand why when you say, turn the fucking light off, you're wasting my electricity in here. Because you pay for it. They start understanding shit ain't for free. And they start understanding their real value. That's all ego, baby. Once you step out that door, you have nothing. But you can have everything. Why do you think you fight? Why do you think you want to change the rules and I want to do what I want to? You want to have your own shit. Now be a man, go work hard and get it. Unfortunately, in the Most High's world, there is no other positions. There's no going out in the world and making your own. There is no other reality. You have to make your reality. They can't do it. So they looked down here and said, well, I can shape Adam's reality. I could be like her. I could be like you down there. It's all a fucking game. And I think that's one of the greatest lessons I learned searching the Bible, although I never learned everything. And I think we're coming to the time when, you know, the Bible literally has in it that there's the God of the world and then there's the Most High. So even that says there's, you know, and the Lord's been trying to like, you know, and I think that's why the Lord said, I'm going to judge people for what they do. Because you can be tricked into believing into something that's not Him and still live a good life. You know? You're not actually living the righteous life, but you're not out there going nuts and stuff, and, you know? So, you know, I don't know. I think that time of people finding out that one, everybody's not the same, and that's okay. Two, even in the ancient days, everybody didn't um not have religion. See, I figured this out too. The Lord said I gave all the other nations gods to like have, but I'm the Most High, and I have my own people. So if the Lord gave people gods, what did He give you that so He can destroy you and punish you and throw you in a pit? No, that would make Him fucking evil. That means He placed angels over every nation. And when they claim to be Him and lie, well, their people are doomed. And then I think that's why He would send His Power Ranger people, His people, to go talk to people and then, bring, like the book says. But then His people fell, like the book says. And I guess it's for everyone's. I don't know. I'm working on that. See, that's what I'm working on. You know? I'm working on that right there. But I think that it has to do with choice, time, because we live in a world now where people don't know things. So that means the further you go back, people knew things. And then people chose. Get it? And a lot of people are going to realize and find out that you don't know because someone chose for you. You know? Like I had to figure out. People chose for me. But then I woke up one day and chose for myself using common sense, using the environment, and what I only knew at that time for reality. In those 20, what, 4 years or some shit? Maybe 25, 26, I don't know. I don't remember anymore. But I knew enough regular reality of living and enough to know what's right and wrong to want to search for the answers in my head. All love, all praise to the Most High.